Acknowledge me, the one.
Acknowledge me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kick It to Scoops. I'm your host, Scoops, the sole admin of Scoops. And wow, my Saints are in the top 10. I remember all these chirpy Carlton fans that were saying, oh, have you checked the ladder recently? I have. Have you? The Saints are above the Blues, and we play you again soon. But irrespective of that, we're currently in the top 10, and we've already beaten you. Maybe still 18 rounds in, you're still worrying about TDK, Jack Silvani, Charlie Curnow. Get over it. They left to go to more successful clubs and their clubs' fan bases. They treat them all with respect. I know for a fact that TDK and Jack Silvani are loved at the Saints, and the fans love both of them as well. And I know the Swans fans, speaking to some Sydney supporters and people around Sydney, they love having Charlie Curnow there. He's on top of the Coleman. He's loving life at the Swans, potentially going to play in a grand final. The Saints duo succeeding at their club. So there you have it. Now, team of the week, Supercoach talk, review the rounds just gone and upcoming, and everything in between. Scooto's bang, a bit light on today to a degree. So had a little preview there, I guess, a little sneak peek of Scooto's bang. But here we are. We'll start off with this. You want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/CooperG. You want me to roast a friend, wish someone a birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/CooperG. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players or any state league players and you want to see them on the channel in a Goal King challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. There's nothing I love more than providing all the content for you all on this channel. But the videos I enjoy doing the most is all videos, but the ones where I feel like I enjoy the most consistently is my Goal King challenges with players in AFLW, AFL, state leagues, and whatever competition it is, whether it's all those leagues I just mentioned, and doing online video interviews as well. And, you know, match day vlogs and everything like that. You can go and check out my Saints Port Adelaide recent match day AFL vlog and any VFW vlogs that will be coming out and AFLW ones in the coming month onwards. So we'll start right now with that world famous segment. It is world famous. Check the analytics and it says so. Scoops goes bang. Wow, wow, wow. So Collingwood was screwed over by the umpiring and they defied all odds. Collingwood defied the odds. They had the umpires severely against them for whatever reason. North Melbourne was severely protected and still could not get it done. Larky missed so many easy goals and everything like that. As for Collingwood, they were screwed over by the umpiring and they still won the game. It was a good game. No doubt about it. But the fact of the matter is that Collingwood was screwed over severely. And two key incidents that proved that in the last quarter were these two incidents. First one, Cam Zurhaar trying to get the ball on the goal line for a Collingwood goal. Pat Lipinski, I think it was. That was easily a goal. Now, after the decision was made, umpires call, because the umpires can't make up their own mind and neither can the ARC. It's good to have it there, but you need people that know how to use it properly. Now, on the angles we originally saw, but obviously the AFL see more angles than what we see on TV, that was clearly touched after the line by Zurhaar. Now, once the umpire made a decision, if you watch the coverage on Fox, they showed a different angle that they didn't show while the decision was being made. And Zurhaar touched the ball well and truly over the line. So Collingwood were robbed of 5 points from there. I say 5 because obviously they're behind. So they were robbed of 5 points. And if that wasn't bad enough, this one just shows that the AFL are a joke. Andrew Dillon, everyone in charge, is a joke. It's the best it's ever been, the umpiring. Remember that Andrew Dillon said not that long ago. Andrew, it is the worst it's ever been. You are the worst CEO of all time. And, I mean, the game is dead. I've been saying it for years that the game is dead, that the umpiring is a joke and everything like that for years. That particular clubs like Geelong, Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn are severely protected. And Jack Ginnivan did on the weekend through that play on with Matt Stevic and all that crap. And it's the best it's ever been, though, right? Now, Matt Whitlock got tackled late in the game in North Melbourne's forward line. It was paid holding the ball. So you would think, okay, Collingwood free kick. Okay. No, a different umpire out of zone gives it a dangerous tackle against Billy Frampton, I think the player was. And then you would think, oh, okay, well, the first umpire, the closest umpire gave it holding the ball. The out of zone one gave it a dangerous tackle. It should be split down the middle. Okay. I thought, and normally has been paid, with two umpires have different decisions, you just split it down the middle and you ball it up because you're both disagreeing, so you have to change it up. But did they do that? No. They made a decision to give a free to a particular team. And I'm like, okay, well, it has to go to the original call because the first call was holding the ball. No, it didn't. Oh, no, it didn't. Did it go to the original umpire's call that originally paid the first decision? No, it didn't. It went the second umpire's decision, the one that was out of zone, that paid the second decision. This just shows how screwed up the umpiring has been forever and is lately. How the hell can a second umpire out of zone override the original umpire's call and then end up being the second umpire's call? It's the original umpire's call. Right or wrong, it was given holding the ball. So it's either holding the ball, then if a second umpire says a different decision, then it's split down the middle and should be a ball up in that case. But it wasn't. North Melbourne soccered the ball for a goal because it was in the goal square area. Don't know who got it, but that goal should not have counted. So -6 points for North Melbourne, +5 for Collingwood in the other incident I mentioned about Lipinski's goal. That wasn't given a goal, it was given it behind from Zurha. So Collingwood were robbed of 11 points. So Collingwood should have won by more than what they did. It says that they won by 4, but you add 11 plus 4 is 15. They should have won by 15 points. It's not really an opinion. It's a fact. Yeah. Now, another decision in the umpiring. This is the only topic on Scoops has been this evening. Jack Ginnivan, Matt Stevic. Now, I told you, Hawthorn are severely protected. Geelong are severely protected, and so are the Western Bulldogs. Now, I'm telling you right now that Andrew Dillon, remember, said the umpiring is the best it's ever been. Matt Stevic calls play, puts his hands up for play on. Then the Carlton player, I don't know who it was, played on off the mark, and Ginnivan got the 50. What the hell is going on these days? And the AFL are a joke. They play favourites. They think their shit don't stink. Trust me, it stinks. And this is why people don't go to the games. This is why people boycott the games. This is why people don't watch the crap. I watch it because I cover it and because I enjoy watching it. But at times, it is unbearable. It is turn the channel off. Change the channel. That's because of the umpiring and the AFL, not the sport itself. The sport is great. The competition is great. The players, the bulk of them are great. But it's the people in charge that are ruining it for everybody. Andrew Dillon, do us all a favour, please, and resign from your spot as the AFL CEO. Go do something else, but not be the AFL CEO. And anyone around him that is advocating for these decisions, and people like Michael Christian, who is the MRO officer, just resign. Please leave. Do something else. AFL MRO job, you ain't cut for it. Andrew Dillon, you ain't cut to be the AFL CEO. Bring back Gillan McLaughlin. Been saying it for years. Bring back Gill. Get rid of Andrew Dillon. Get rid of everyone around him that advocates for these decisions. It's downright embarrassing. It's a joke. And get rid of it. Now, Billy Frampton got a 1-week suspension for the tackle on Matt Whitlock. So an umpire pays holding the ball, and he's got a 1-week suspension. That sums up the umpiring in 2026. Plain and simple. Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed that edition of the world-famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Short and sharp today. All right, now it's time to go through my scoops. Round 18, team of the week. But before we even do that, who do you all think will be in the top 10? Will the top 10 remain as is? Will St Kilda, the Bulldogs, Collingwood, Melbourne, Geelong stay in there? Or is one of them going to fall out for the Giants? Carlton? No. I'm just saying that, but they won't, because Carlton are a banter club. Will it be Gold Coast? Nah. Let's get to Gold Coast, actually, before I do my team of the week. Now, I've wanted to be on the bandwagon, not the bandwagon, on the strong belief that GWS and Brisbane will be fine. And Brisbane are their red-hot favourites for the premiership. There's no, without a shadow of a doubt about it. Brisbane are the team to beat, not Fremantle. They've been lucky a lot of their wins. They lost to the Giants recently. The Giants, the Orange Tsunami, never surrender, and they'll fight until the end. Are they going to be greater than the rest? I think the Giants will make the top 10. Who falls out? I think it could be Geelong. It really could be Geelong or the Western Bulldogs. But Geelong have been severely protected by the fixture, as they do every year. Got 3 bottom teams in the last 3 rounds. I think it's Richmond, North Melbourne, Essendon, or something like that. Richmond, Essendon, and North Melbourne, or something like that. It's bullshit. So they'll probably get favoured by the umpiring, and not actually will that. They might, they will. We played Geelong this week, so we're going to be screwed over due to the match fixing, as we always do in Geelong, like most teams do, if not every team does, against Geelong in Geelong. Unless you're the Bulldogs or Hawthorn, then you're a chance to beat them. That's the only time that would happen. But Gold Coast, where to next? Now, I'm on the strong belief that Gold Coast need to remove Damien Hardwick as coach. Dimmer, you mad, bro? Now, Damien Hardwick is part of their problem right now. And I'm going to go out there and say this on here right now. I said it on my live streams, so I'm going to say it on here. Mac Andrew and Bailey Humphrey both need to be dropped. Damien Hardwick needs to be removed as senior coach. And here's why. All the drama that has been around Gold Coast. Now, people want to say it's, Petrarca's part of the problem. It was him in Melbourne and now it's him at Gold Coast. No. Christian Petrarca had every right to be pissed off with Melbourne after how they treated him in that experience with the being allowed back on the field where he had a serious health injury that could have affected his life. Different circumstances. He has every right to still be pissed off with Melbourne if he wants to be. He's allowed to be, because they did wrong by him. By him. So he's allowed to be pissed off. Now, Dimmer caused angst around the club with his arrogance, having pot shots at St Kilda and Freo and every other club that went against them for the academy bullshit and handouts they get. They got Zeke Hewlin for free. They've got Dylan Patterson for free. They've got all these guys for free. Everyone they drafted was essentially for free, except for Avery Thomas. Everyone else they picked up in the main draft was all handouts. They got all these handouts, and they're still failing. They got Bo Ansell, they got Jai Murray, all through their academies, all through handouts. So, at the start of the season, I thought, it was just going to be a one-off how they started. Well, not the start, but like 10 weeks ago. I thought, no, the Geelong game and around that, they thought they were starting to build it back. But, in patches in games in the last 6 weeks, they've been pathetic to where they've probably been showing like they're a bottom 4 side. Now, team selection with them is pathetic. Now, I'm no Jamari Ugle-Hagan fan at all. But you've got to change that mix in that forward line. That forward line is terrible. Ben Long is one of the worst players in the AFL. One of the most overrated players in the AFL. The midfield mix. Bailey Humphrey should be dropped. Mac Andrews should be dropped, not for his form, but for his attitude. There lies the problem. Dimmer, Mac Andrew, and Bailey Humphrey. Bailey Humphrey is checked out last year, and his form is showing that. His form has been terrible. Now, can he still be a good player in the competition? Sure. Is he showing that now? Absolutely not. He had a good game last week, I think, when he kicked 3 goals or something, but that's all he's done all year. The majority of the other games, he's been terrible. For his standard, he's been terrible. I know he's in his first 3 or so years, but he's been terrible. He's checked out. He needs to be dropped. But they're trying not to hurt their trade value with him. But it's showing when you keep players that want to leave, unless you're Rowan Marshall, who is killing it at the Saints. I love Rowe at the Saints, and he's doing well all year. Not just without TDK, he's been great all year. Damien Hardwick needs to be sacked as coach of the Gold Coast Suns. They need to get someone else in charge. Bailey Humphrey, they need to make a selection statement. They won't do it, but he needs to be dropped. And Mac Andrew continues every week to cost them free kicks that result in goals. He gave a double free kick away on the weekend. It resulted in 2 goals to a opposition player. I can't remember who it was. Just sucks the life out of him against the Crows. It might have been Saligo, actually. So, you know what I mean? It's just like Dimmer needs to make selection statements and stop worrying about people in the crowd and more worry about your players that are playing shit. And your selection is shit. Now, you're only playing Ned Moyle because you want to keep him at the club. And you don't actually worry about winning games. Ned Moyle should not be playing this week at all. It should be Jared Witts. Simple as that. Wittsy should be playing every week. If Ned Moyle is only going to stay if you play him this year, then piss him off. Get someone else. You'll find someone else. Ned Moyle has shown at AFL level he's too good for the VFL, and that's his level. He's a whatever AFL level ruck. He's like a Mark Pittonet or Lockie McAndrew or Bailey Williams or someone like that. They're just not that good. Or Jordan Sweet, who is terrible as well. Or Dante Visentini. All those names I just mentioned in the rucks at that level, like Sweet, Visentini, Pittonet, Lachlan McAndrew, not Bailey Williams, I shouldn't have said him, and the other names I mentioned, not Rowan Marshall, he's a gun ruck. You just need a better ruck. And Jared Witts can do that for the next few years. Then after that, over time, look at bringing in someone else through the trade period, an experienced player or whatnot. Ned Moyle, if he wants to go, let him go. Worry about winning games. Mac Andrew and his ill-disciplined antics, giving away free kicks, the opposition get under his skin because they know he's going to give away free kicks. He's always pushing people around, throwing people to the ground and everything like that. He's got to go. Simple as that. Dimmer, you are indeed mad, bro. Right. Now it's time to go through my scoops. Round 18, Team of the Week. Now, this week was one of the hardest weeks ever to pick a Team of the Week. From the back line, the pockets, Jake Lever and Dane Zorko. Full back, Callum Wilkie. Half back line, the flankers, the King of the Hill, Bradley Hill and Josh Dacos. Centre half back, Jack Silvani. Wingers, Nasiah, Wanganeen, Malira and Toby Green. Centreman, Clayton Oliver. Half forward line, the flankers, Timmy Membry and Sean Manor. Centre half forward, Jacob Van Rooyen. Forward pockets, Tex Walker and Jack Gunston. Full forward, Charlie Curnow. The ruck, Rowan Marshall. Rovers, Lockie Neal and Will Ashcroft. The interchange, Sam Taylor, Aaron Norton, Callum Brown, Jack Ginnivan and Isaac Rankin. The emergencies, Hugo Garcia, Jeremy Howe, Peter Wright, Josh Shelley, Joel Fitzgerald, Miles Bergman, Ollie Dempsey, Jake Bowie, and Tim Taranto. Now, reasons for all these selections will be on the screen for you all to see. Now, Callum Wilkie, 34 disposals, over 10 intercepts and 1%. Cal was awesome. I mean, him and Jack Silvani worked hand in hand this year. They've both been awesome. You know, people bagged the recruitment of Silvani preseason, not me. I thought it was a great selection. Jack has helped Cal Wilkie so much to play the role that Cal is best suited to. Even with injuries to Dougal, Howard, and that, Jack Silvani being in the massive form that Jack's been in and will be all-Australian contention for sure this year. He's absolutely going to be in mine as of this moment. I haven't written down a team of the week. All-Australian team yet, but he's definitely in that team if I chose it today. Josh Dacos, he was awesome. Jack Silvani, 22 disposals, 11 1%ers, 9 intercepts, 96% disposal efficiency, even 8 contested possessions out of that for Jack. He was really good. Josh Dacos, one of the best on the ground for the Pies, over 30 touches and had a key impact in their win over North Melbourne with his drive of halfback and pushing up the ground. The king of the hill, Bradley Hill, another goal, around 40 disposals. Just Brad was so good. With Jack Sinclair going out, he's taken Jack Sinclair's role, even though he was kind of playing there as well, but it seems to be in the numbers that Jack Sinclair was getting and the role that Jack was playing. And Brad's doing really well at that. If he can continue this form, could he be an All-Australian Smoky? I mean, you have to ask the question. He's got over 30 disposals probably the last 6 weeks. So it's not an unrealistic thing to ask. Jake Lever had about 15 1%ers, so he definitely deserved to be in. Dane Zorko had 32 disposals. His drive back in the side this week for Dane Zorko, the magician, out for about 6 weeks and back where he left it last time. Naz had 32 disposals with about 2 goal assists and about 11 score involvements, and like 7 clearances. But people said he doesn't impact the game as much. Like Luke Beveridge, who has zero clue. Clayton Oliver had 36 disposals with 21 of those 36 contested and deserved a spot in the side. Toby Green had 33 disposals, 7 clearances, a couple of goal assists, and did really well. Timmy Membry, 3 goals and 18 disposals. He was awesome. Jacob Van Rooyen kicked 6 again, so deserves a spot there. Sean Manor, 4 goals and 33 disposals, deserved a spot. Tex Walker kicked 5 goals, 4, and it was awesome. Tex is back to his best. Charlie Curnow kicked 6, and he was easily best on ground in that Swans game over Freo. Jack Gunson kicked 4 and 20. So he deserved a spot. Royal Marshall kicked a goal with 29 disposals. He was awesome. Lockie Neal, congratulations to Lockie Neal for being the first ever player in AFL history to reach over 2,000 clearances. So Lockie Neal, he's a bull in the midfield. What a star, Lockie Neal, who will be going to the Collingwood Football Club after this season. For Will Ashcroft, he was awesome, Will. So was Will. Absolutely amazing they were. Just the way that Will Ashcroft's playing at the moment in his first 3 seasons is being severely underrated. He's been great. What many players in their first 3 years, like the way Will Ashcroft's been going, who can say, besides Mr. Dacos and Naz and players like that, but you would have to put Will Ashcroft probably in the top echelon of midfielders in their first 3 to 4 seasons with the way they're going. He's just been awesome. Lockie Neal as well, with 40 disposals for Lockie Neal. He was great. So, you got to give all the credit in the world to the Brisbane midfield, who've been under the pump by others and, hasn't phased them at all. They've been really good. I don't give a shit that they played Essendon. They were really good. Lockie Neal, 40 disposals, 13 marks, 75% disposal efficiency, 7 intercepts, 2 goal assists, 12 score involvements, 5 clearances, and 3 of those centre clearances. Will Ashcroft, 3 goals, 33 disposals, 82% disposal efficiency, 13 score involvements, a goal assist, and 8 clearances, and 6 of those being centre clearances. So Will Ashcroft was a star as well and deserved a spot in the team for sure. With Naz, he had 32 disposals, as I said, at 81%, 2 goal assists, 8 score involvements, and a few clearances as well. 744 metres gained. They were great. Where are we? Yeah, the forward line speaks for themselves. Same with Rowan Marshall, 29 disposals, 1 goal, 1, 18 hit-outs, 11 marks, 11 of those 29 contested for a ruckman is pretty good. 7 score involvements and a goal assist as well, with 6 clearances and 3 of those being centre clearances. Rowe is awesome every week with the coning as well. So then Sam Taylor had 21 disposals. Aaron Norton kicked 5. Callum Brown kicked 3 and important goals in the second half. in that come from behind win against Geelong, who choked a 39-point lead late in the third quarter. Jack Ginnivan played well for 4 goals and 20-odd touches. Isaac Rankin a goal and 31 and about 7 clearances did well. This was insanely hard to pick this team this week. Peter Wright had a strong second half, 3 goals, 4, basically scored all of Essendon's score in patches of the game. Joel Fitzgerald, I wanted to put in as well, and Joshua Shelley, and Hugo Garcia, but Garcia was great for 32 disposals and about 8 clearances. Yeah, it's a great team of the week this week, as it is each and every week. It's a very hard team to select. I mean, and if you're going to tell me who should be in over others, just make sure you say who for who. Not just say, oh, that guy shouldn't be there and that guy shouldn't be there and all that crap as well. So, and by the way, I had to laugh. Last week in my team of the week, I had Max Gawn, I had Bailey Fritsch in my team of the week. Yet, according to so-called other people, I picked no Melbourne players. So for people that want to critique me missing votes supposedly on my Brownlow medal, on my Scoops medal, how about you actually look at your own backyard? Because last time I checked, Max Gawn and Bailey Fritsch and Jacob Van Rooyen, all 3 of them play for the Melbourne Football Club. So that means 3 Melbourne players were in the team of the week last week. So maybe other people need to get an education and get a life too, might I add it. I have to laugh when everything revolves around talking about me to make their shitty lives look like it means something, because it really doesn't. But hey, people talk about me, they get the clicks. So anyway, so that's the team of the week. I love the team of the week. I think it's a really good team. I wanted to put in other players in that forward line. I just couldn't fit in Callum Brown, Ginnivan, Rochelle as well, Peter Wright. There's probably some others as well that aren't even on the emergency list that I wanted to put in, but it is what it is. So I hope you all enjoy my team of the week. So there you have it. All right, now let's review. No, not review. Let's talk about Supercoach, shall we? So in Supercoach this week, I scored 2,362. And I still dropped 1% in the rankings. I'm now in the top 21%. I was really happy with this score. And again, dropped 1% in the ranking, which is annoying. Under 5 trades still. And another injury this week, Zach Butters, who's potentially out for the year. Because I've got a strong midfield and depth in the midfield, maybe I'll just have to keep Zach Butters in the team, play Hugo Hall-Kahan or Joel Fitzgerald, who are both doing very well. Now, Hugo Hall-Kahan was managed this week, which pisses me off. But maybe I do that because I've got a weak forward line bench, Banfield and McRae, who aren't playing. The defenders, I got Anand and Bailey McDonald, so they may play. But if I cop an injury in the forward line, I probably need that trade. Because my midfielders, none of them are mid-forwards. So, that are in the midfield right now. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see what happens. So, yeah, it is what it is. But we'll worry about that when the rounds get closer. So this is my team. With the individual players' scores this week, I didn't have Lockie Whitfield, so that didn't help either. So I was a premium short and still scored that high. So Naz got 154, was awesome. Max Holmes got 112, he was great. Brody Ulan got 84. I thought he played all right, so that's a bit bullshit. Lockie Ash, 112, very good. Josh Worrell, 78. I thought he deserved a bit more, a bit like Ulan, play about 15 more points each. Kai Anand, 70, awesome. I was actually pissed off that Bailey McDonald got 66, and I'm like, oh, great, I've chosen the wrong rookie. But hey, and then Whitfield didn't play. He'll be back this week on the field for Kai Anand. All going to plan, of course. And Dacos was my captain as Heaney got 80. It was on 70 at halftime, Heaney. So it was actually bullshit. He was screwed over at least 30 points, 40 points even. Otherwise, I may have taken his score, but Dacos got 121 and Dacos. So I was pretty happy with that and took that as captain. Jordan Dawson, 116, very good. Butters, 87 in 3/4, not bad. Will Ashcroft, he was awesome. He was the guy I brought in this week. If you didn't bring in Will Ashcroft and you needed a premium midfielder, you are complete another clown. You had to get him in. 3 weak opposition he has. Essendon, 2 other bottom sides in his next 6 games, or 7 games if you include the weekend. So 3 of the 7 will weak opposition. He will cash in on those teams, and he'll probably still go well against those other teams. So Will Ashraf is a star. 174. What a trading by me. Lockie Neal, 153. Awesome. Lockie Neal always gets severely robbed of points. He could easily have got 170, but 153 is awesome. Zach Merritt, 49. Pathetic. Dean Solomon is the worst caretaker coach in history. Just because he's going to want to leave again doesn't mean you shove him in the back pocket or in the forward pocket. Play your best players in their main position. Now, I don't hear, we want to play Roby and all these other guys in the midfield. Yeah, you could say, short-term pain for long-term gain. It ain't going to make one iota of a difference if you play Zach in the middle. He can help Roby and Farrow and all those guys in the midfield. They want to play there. Maybe think of that, Dean. That's why you're a shit caretaker coach and you'll never be an official AFL senior coach. So Zach Merritt's scores was shit, but because of Dean Solomon and his positioning of Zach Merritt. Matt Rowell, 93. Now, I thought his range was around this, so it's whatever, but I'm not happy with that. Hugo didn't play. Ison got 61. I actually scored something for once. And Joel Fitzgerald had 31 disposals, got 106 points. So he even scored more than Zach Merritt and Matt Rowell. Now, if Butter's out, Hugo will come on the field. Or Fitzgerald. Maybe I can loophole with one of them because I've got the Butters scenario now, depending on when they play and all that crap. But, hey, it's very interesting, that's for sure. So now let's move on to the other position. So it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. It's going to be for sure interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, look at that. Jackson, 92, he was shit again. Grundy, 100, he was robbed of at least 30 points. Harry Sheasel, 107, very good. Chad Warner, 92. He was robbed of about 30 points. Zach Bailey, 106, very good. Bailey Williams, 100, very good. Petrarca, 55. Pathetic again. But that's also Dimmer's fault for shoving him in the forward line. Tuke Miller, 72, that was pathetic. Leo Lombard, 83. I've had to keep him all year. And to be honest, he's doing better than Miller, Petrarca, and Merritt. So that's saying something. Banfield and McCready players didn't Kalani White, who will never play AFL. So that's my team of the week. Not team of the week. That's my Supercoach talk and score. So how did you go this week? You got 6 rounds to go. So maybe you need to save your trades if you got under 5 like me. Let's just say I got under 3 trades. Or have I got 3 or less? You'll have to wait and find out over time, I guess, and see all the trades that I'm doing. So, yeah. You'll have to wait and see for sure. Right, now let's review the round 18 games. Shall we? So let's do that. All right, so in Perth, it was Freo and Sydney. And the result was interesting. Freo 111 to Sydney 73. Freo by 38 points. They were goalless at halftime. So it's good to come back. But I thought Sydney were disappointing. That they should have maintained the lead. But yeah, Chad Warner, Isaac Heaney, Charlie Kerner were all great. Goulden had his moment. Sheldrick was a bit quiet this week. But it's disappointing, but it is what it is there. For Freo, Caleb Sarong and Josh Tracy were some of their better players. Luke Jackson was beaten by Brodie Grundy. But that game feels like a long time ago. Friday night at Marvel Stadium, Collingwood 89, North Melbourne 85, Collingwood by 4 points. Great game. 2 sides that had a good contest. Larky, so many easy shots probably cost them the game in a way. Membry, both Dacos brothers, Josh in particular, were all very good. Dan McStay had a good game, I thought, kicking 3. He was stiff not to make the squad as well from the team of the week. That just shows how strong it was. LDU was well held. I thought Ed Allen's shown some moments now since he's had more permanent midfield time. They should bring back Rowan Steele, who's in the 2, surprising the last few weeks, which is bizarre. He's one of those guys that needs to be in the AFL side. But yeah, can't have everyone in the side though. But anyway, good win for the Pies. I mentioned earlier about the robbery, so I'm not going to go through that again. So Saturday, St Kilda 87, Paul 73. St Kilda by 14 points. Now, I had to laugh at people. I mean, I don't really have to explain myself. St Kilda were the far dominant side in the first half. The game was won there. Am I disappointed that St Kilda didn't carry on with that lead or something like that? Sure. Did Port Adelaide get injuries to Zach Butters? Sure. Butters got injured at 3-quarter time, essentially, with like 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. So let's just say he played 3 full quarters because he did. Right. Georgiades had no impact on the game whatsoever when he got out. Is it a big blow? Yes. But you could argue they looked better when he was off. Lockie Jones, people brought up, like, seriously, he's shit. He's a Sanafel hack. If you know, you know. Sanfel hack, a mate of mine calls it the Sanafel. It's a running gag with Port Adelaide, mate. So there you are. Now, were Port Adelaide better in the second half? Sure. It was an even second half. Not on the scoreboard, sure, because the scoreboard margin wasn't the same as at halftime compared to the end. I get that. But that's not what I mean by an even half. Like, Port Adelaide had a little patch where they got on top, and then we just leveled it out and kicked a few goals in the back end of the last quarter. So it kind of evened itself out from an overall second half. They won by margin in the second half. But, newsflash, we won the fucking game. We dominated in the first half, which was leaps and bounds ahead of their second half for our first half. So at the end of the day, we controlled the game. They fought out to the end. And we said, not on my watch. Mason Ward kicked a nice goal to Sealer. That's all she wrote. Is it a win for the ages? No. The fact of the matter is we won. And for people saying, oh, you only won because of the injuries they had, that bullshit. Cal Wilkie gave Mitch Georgiades a bath in the first quarter. He had 11 disposals on his own in the first quarter to get Cal. Mitch was shit. He was a guy going into the game I was worried about because he's in All-Australian level form. And so was Zach Butters, obviously. And I think we quelled both players' influences when they were on the field. So Butters had his disposals, but I don't think he had key impact at all. And Mitch Georgiades was useless prior to his concussion. And now, what a brave effort that was from Rowan Marshall and Mitch Georgiades in that contest. Two guys putting their body on the line, courageous acts from both players. I thought Miles Bergman was Port Adelaide's best player in one of a few that stood out. I thought he did pretty good. He had 21 disposals, about 10 intercepts. I thought he did pretty good. He was one of those players I'm like, okay, he's there again. He's there again. But for us, it was the usual suspects. A lot of the younger players in the team. So Hugo Garcia was really good. 32 disposals, 7 clearances, really good. A lot of score involvements as well. Rowan Marshall, 29 disposals and a goal. Cal Wilkie, a goal, not a goal. 34 disposals and a lot of marks, like 11 marks and 1%ers and score involvements. Not score involvements. Well, he did have some, but intercept possessions. Brad Hill was awesome, a goal and 40. You know, a lot of all-round great effort. Cooper Sharma kicked 3 goals in the first quarter, and he set the tone from the start. Liam Ryan kicked 2 goals within quick succession and done really well. Jack Higgins did the same, kicked a couple. So everyone contributed, and that's the main thing. At the end of the day, we beat Port Adelaide twice, we beat the Giants twice, and we're in the top 10 currently with 6 games to go. With the injuries, no Jack Sinclair, no Sam Flanders, no Max King all year. So, and Max King's return is imminent. Not this week probably though, Ross said. May likely be the next week when we play North Melbourne. So, will he be in the AFL though? We'll have to wait and see. But, you know, hard fought out win for the Saints. It was severely good in the first half. Second half, whatever. Would have liked them to carry it on. But we won. The scoreboard says we won. And if you want to bring up injuries, we have injuries too. And they only copped the injuries at 3/4 time. So, and the fact of the matter is, they got 3 bullshit 50-metre penalties from bullshit things that resulted in goals and or shots at goal. So if anything, we were screwed over, if anyone. So we won fair and square. Deal with it, Port fans. Port fans love crying on social media. They've always got excuses, Port fans. Now, I understand why Adelaide fans don't like Port Adelaide outside them being their arch rivals, of course. But South Australian fans in general, they're an interesting bunch, especially the Port fans, on social media at least. Can't say they were that bad at the game because there was no Port fans basically there. So GWS 86, Geelong 73, GWS by 13 points. Now, I'll give Dwayne Russell a lot of credit here. On the coverage, he was like, late in the third when it was like 28 points or 30 points, he was like saying, hang on, they're coming back. They had gotten a goal from 39 to 33, actually. And he's like, they're back. I'm thinking, I hope you're right, Dwayne, but I don't know. Then there was a few more goals, and he get more excited, and I'm like, here we go. I'm like, don't get too excited. It might not happen. But it happened. Toby Green, Riley Hamilton, 2 important goals from Riley, the debutant from last week. Riley Hamilton, the brother of the Hamilton sisters in the Swans AFLW, Cynthia and Lexi, who are doing well for themselves at the Swans AFLW side, both of them. And Riley is doing it at the Giants the last 2 weeks. So great for Riley and the Hamilton family. It was really good. Toby Green was good. People want to say, they lost Jeremy Cameron and Tanner Bruin and Jack Henry. Sure. But Jeremy Cameron has been doing nothing lately. He's been playing on one arm. I don't care. It's Chris Scott's fault for playing him. He's got no faith in their whole team. I mean, he dropped Mitch Edwards and wants to play Sam De Koning and Mark Blicavs out of position. Unfortunately for Mark Blicavs, he's finished and should not be playing anymore. Sam De Koning is a key defender, not a ruck. So Mitch Edwards probably deserved to be dropped, but that's why you didn't play Reece Stanley. So whose fault's that? So, and all year they haven't been playing Reece Stanley, so it's not just this week. So Geelong playing Blicavs and De Koning out of position. It's going to hurt your structure, Scotty. Now we're going to do this week. Is Reece Stanley going to get a game this week? Is Mitch Edwards going to come back? But Bruin and Henry are no loss to the team. Let's be real. And GWS lost a rising star contender in Phoenix Gothard, who I could argue is in better form than those 3 Geelong had out in the game. And plus, they shit the bed. They choked a 39-point lead. So to all the Geelong fans who want to cry and say, we didn't choke, we had injuries. Did you have injuries? Sure. You choked before most of them were out. So stop hiding behind the injury excuse. Say, you shit the bed, you got arrogant, you choked, your coach doesn't select the right players and gets players out of position and plays guys literally on one arm, and now Jeremy's both arms are stuffed. So whose fault is that? That's Scotty and the selection crew. You shit the bed. How about you see Callum Brown and Toby Green and Lockie Ash and Clayton Oliver and Riley Hamilton and Callum Brown, who all played well. Jake Stringer had some moments in the last quarter as well, and late in the third. Maybe look at that. Kieran Briggs was really good in the ruck as well. Dominated De Koning, that's Sam De Koning, and Mark Blicavs. So just look at your own backyard, Scotty. Even if you somehow beat Hearts, Hussein Hawachka did not play for Essendon this week. Now, Scotty, guess what? Even if you do get through us, it will probably be due to the umpiring severely protecting you. But this does not change the fact that Geelong's selection integrity is pathetic. You got James Warple in on a 4-year deal out of spite to Hawthorn, and you barely played him all year. You paying a guy $800,000 or so to play in the VFL? You brought in Jack Bowes only because you got pick 7 out of that deal. Value your players, Scotty. Actually reward the former players. But no, we'll just play hacks in the team. Go ahead, keep doing that. Hope you lose this week and every other week coming. Hopefully you don't make the top 10. And even if you do make the top 10 or even the top 6, let's be real, Geelong in finals, they crumble under pressure. They can't beat up on bottom teams in finals. So simple as that. That's when the umpiring severely protects them. And even then, sometimes with the umpire's help, they cannot win the game. Giants were awesome. in the second half, and GWS were great, and Geelong was shit. Carlton, who are a banter club, back to reality for the Carlton Football Club. They got absolutely spanked by Hawthorn. Back to reality, as I said. They were pathetic. Simply pathetic, they were. It was 39 to 103. Hawthorn by 64 points. Now, a lot of Carlton fans leaving the game in the third quarter. Fake fans. True fans stay through it all. The good times and the low times. You stay through right till the end. Carlton was shit. Carlton were sent back to reality. Now, Hawthorn fans, don't you think you're going to get a lot of praise? You played Carlton, who is shit. Hawthorn are still severely overrated. Credit to you for this game with Ginnivan, and I was going to say Watson is shit and wasn't playing. Ginnivan, Gunston, Will Day, and some others played well. But your team's still shit. Carlton, you're a joke. Sucked in. Banter club. Pathetic. Now, George Short went out early. He had 9 disposals in the first quarter, so not sure what happened to him, but hopefully for him and Carlton, he's back this week. The Carlton are a banter club, sent back to reality. Carlton fans, you're all delusional. Check the ladder. And check the result for when we last played you, banter club. And to the Carlton creators out there that want to run their mouth and try and laugh about St Kilda's ladder position, check yours now. Might want to check it. And keep in mind, stop talking about me, Carlton fans. You got no life. Now, where are we? Sunday games. Western Bulldogs. Now, I saw Western Bulldogs fans in Melbourne on Sunday leaving at halftime and in the third quarter when they were trailing. Fake fans if I hadn't seen it. Fake fans. Unbelievable. You won in the end. You scraped over because West Coast kicked inaccurately, like 9 goals, 16 or something. You know, that's why you won. 86 to 70 by 16 points. Aaron Norton played well, but that's about it. West Coast, Willem Dersma kicked a really nice goal. Had 20 disposals and a goal, did well. But you got lucky. Play a real team, Bulldogs, and you'll show how shit you truly are. Melbourne 111, Richmond 65, Melbourne by 46. This was even at quarter time. I could argue that Richmond were playing a bit better than Melbourne in the first quarter, but then after that, Melbourne ran over the top of them. Tim Taranto was pretty good for Richmond. But Melbourne, it was, Joel Fitzgerald. It was Jacob Van Rooyen was some of their better players. Now, the last game, Brisbane smashed a pathetic Essendon. 149 to 59 by 90 points. Essendon are a joke. Dean Solomon and James Hird should be nowhere near contention for the senior coach. They need a coach like John Longmire or a Ken Inkley or a Nathan Buckley, someone like that. Someone that's not going to stand for the bullshit. This fairy tale, we need to bring back the old Essendon. You don't need any of the old Essendon. You want to go through that drug saga bullshit again, do you? James Hird should not be the coach, not because of that per se, but for the fact of the matter is he's had no official coaching for 10 years or so since he got sacked. So why should he get it? He's doing like a director of coaching at Port Melbourne in the VFL, but outside of that and a part-time 6-week hiatus or 6-week block with GWS as an interim coach for Mark McVeigh, what the hell has James Hird done to warrant a spot? It's been 10 years, not 2 weeks out of the job or 2 months or 2 years. It's 10 years or something like that. They're a joke. Zach Merritt should be playing midfield, whether you think he's going or not. Durham needs help. So, Brisbane, awesome. Neil, both Ashworth brothers, Zorko, Fletcher, Jasper Fletcher. It's good to see him back in form and everything like that. The whole team was great. Eric Hibwood showing some signs in the second half, but Peter Wright, 2-metre Peter, was easily Essendon's best player. 3 goals for, 17 disposals or so. Peter Wright, 2-metre Peter, deserves the credit. He had 21 passengers, and he was the only one that was worth mentioning. Now, let's preview the round 19 game, shall we? Thursday night at Shavers Stadium, aka GMHBA Stadium. On Thursday night, it's my Saints facing Geelong. I'm going to go St Kilda in this one by 1 point to break the hoodoo, to defy the match fixing, hopefully. St Kilda by 1 point. So we'll see. Hopefully we can get the job done. Friday night at the SCG, 7:40 Victorian time. It's Sydney and Adelaide. I'll be tipping the Swans in this one by 12 points. This should be a really good game on Friday night. Saturday, 1:15 p.m. at Adelaide Oval. It's Port Adelaide and Freo. I'll be tipping Freo in this one by 100 points. North Melbourne and Melbourne, Marvel Stadium, 4:15 p.m. Victorian time. I'll be hosting North Melbourne hosting Melbourne. I'll be tipping Melbourne in this one by 25 points. Saturday night at the MCG, 7:35 p.m. Victorian time. It's Collingwood and Carlton. I'll be tipping Collingwood this one by 28 points. 8:10 p.m. Victorian time. 6:10 Perth time at Optus Stadium. It's West Coast hosting Brisbane. I'll be tipping Brisbane this one by 47 points. Sunday, we have 1:10 at the MCG. Richmond and Hawthorn. I'll be tipping Hawthorn this one by 38 points. 3:15 p.m. at People First Stadium up on the Gold Coast. 3:15 p.m. Victorian time. It's Gold Coast and the Western Bulldogs. Are the Giants, not the Giants, are the Suns going to respond? I think they can, and the Suns will win by 1 point if they drop Bailey Humphrey / Mac Andrew. And the final game on Sunday is 4:40 p.m. at Marvel Stadium. It's Essendon hosting GWS. I'll be going for GWS to win this one by 112 points. I'll wrap this show up with this. You want me on Cameo? Head to cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend with somebody with a birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players or any state league players and you want to see them on the channel in a Goal King Challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and we'll get something sorted. Thank you. Go Saints. And come on, 6 rounds to go. Let's make the top 10 and prove the haters that we mean business.